Hi traders, welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, 𝖢𝖥𝖣yi, Senior Market Analyst. Tomorrow we await the Bank of England's interest rate decision, which is forecast to rise by another 25 basis points to 5.25%, a level we haven't seen since the depths of the last major recession. Now, this move is indicative of the central bank's aggressive stance on curbing inflation, but it also points to deeper economic concerns. Now, speaking of inflation, the rate remains persistently high now, hovering around 7.9%, and this is notably well above the 3% target set out by policymakers. For consumers, this translates to higher costs of living, with prices of goods and services continuing to surge. For businesses, especially those relying on imported goods, this can mean squeezed margins unless they pass those costs onto the consumers, magnifying the inflation problem. Perhaps the most concerning, and what many market watchers are closely eyeing, is the growing fear of a recession. Unemployment is on the rise. A growing number of individuals are finding themselves out of work, which can lead to decreased consumer spending. Another indicator that could suggest that the market could be falling into a recession is business bankruptcies are nearing the highs we saw in 2008, and this is especially worrisome as it shows that businesses both large and small are struggling to navigate the current economic terrain. Now, let's jump over to the pound US dollar chart and check out some of those key levels ahead to look out for during this event. See you in a second. Now, jumping on this weekly pound US dollar chart, we can see that we are technically trading within a strong upward trend here. The market's making real clear higher highs and higher lows. We are now coming into a very interesting level of support. So we have this long-term trend line support combined with the prior lows and previous weekly highs, which is around about that 1.2650 handle. So we are about 20-30 pips away from that level or so we are front running that level a little bit, but this could be a key level that comes into play, especially into tomorrow's meeting. Now, if we go down to our lower time frames today, it's been another sort of poor day for pound US dollar. Dollar has increased in strength. We had some dollar data out earlier today that has helped the US dollar to gain some strength, driving cable prices lower. But we are coming into, like I said, that key structure point, that key potential demand zone where we saw price rally over 500 pips recently. So is price going to hit this zone? Are we going to see a rejection of that? If we do, where could price head towards? Well, we have the sort of key level running through here of the 128. We have the 1.3 as well. So if we do find any support there, price may trade back to the upside. On the flip side of that, what could we see if the Bank of England actually pause rates and say, look, we're not going to hike rates in fear of putting banks under pressure, in fear of that recession, in fear of bringing that unemployment rate up, then pound could weaken. We could see price trade through this 1.26 level, head down towards the 1.2350. I think what's important coming into this data tomorrow is what the Bank of England governor says. Now, UK is in a real kind of sticky predicament at the moment because inflation remains extremely high, like I said, at that 7.9%. Comparing that to the likes of the US, where inflation has come down quite significantly, yet they are still looking to hike interest rates by 25 basis points or so. The effects over in the UK are the fact that inflation still remains very, very high. So they're having to put themselves under that pressure of hiking rates more aggressively. And there was some fear that rates in the UK could at least reach 7%. So, and that fear isn't really out the window considering the fact that, like I said, that inflation pressure is still very, very high. So we'll see what happens and see what the Bank of England Governor Bailey says. But those are the key levels I'll be watching out going into tomorrow's meeting. Really hope you enjoyed this video update. If you did, leave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like this sort of content. And I'll speak to you in the next video. Cheers.